plaintiff, Charles Canty, says his mother was a drug dealer, and she had him when she was 12 years old. Charles claims he got 23 scholarship offers, but he joined a gang and became a drug addict. Charles claims he's turned his life around and was friends with the defendant's wife, but he's suing because he rented a car for the defendant, and the car was impounded. Defendant Shapiro Vitas says he was incarcerated for 8 years for drugs, but he got his GED and now has his life together. Shapiro admits that Charles rented a car for him, but he insists Charles is suing for more than he owes.
Start with you.
First of all, Your Honor, what I'd like to say, it is such a pleasure to finally be in your courtroom. You're such an honorable man.
Thank you.
Second of all, Your Honor, if I can give you just a second, 60 seconds of my background.
Give me all you want.
Thank you. Your Honor, my name is Big Tiny. Most people know me. I'm from right down the street, 35th Street. My mother was a drug dealer. She had me when she was 12 years old. She had 7 kids by the time she was 22. She got shot with a .357 Magnum 6 times on 103rd at Halston.
How old was she?
She was, I was about 10, so she had to be about 23 or 24.
Who raised you guys?
My grandmother. I had a praying grandmother. Your Honor, I grew like 6.5 inches one summer. So when I came back from 6th grade, I was like 6 foot 3 3/4, 200 pounds. So I was a basketball prodigy. I've been dunking since I was in like 5th grade. Wow. So I tried out for them.
What school did you go to?
I went to Finger on the far south side of Chicago.
Did you go to college? Did you play college?
I had 23 scholarships for college, but my mother was so engulfed in the drug dealing and gangbanging business. I was the oldest of 6 kids, and I was kind of like drafted, Your Honor. Like an enforcer for the gangs for a while, torn between being a drug addict because my mother was a crack dealer. A couple of times I tried out for NBA, I was, cut. And then I became a bodyguard for the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I got caught stealing because I was still a drug addict, and terminated from that job as well.
What type of drugs?
I did everything. My mother was a dealer, so she experimented with coke.
You like going up and down?
Everything, Your Honor. Yeah.
So one day you smoke crack, another day you snort heroin or shoot heroin.
I would mix crack and heroin together.
Yeah, well, speedballing.
Speedballing, yes.
That's
sir.
what killed John Belushi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, anyway, my mother. Very dangerous. Go ahead.
My mother committed suicide about 4 years ago.
Oh, so she survived the .357.
Yes, she got up and walked out of the place after she was shot. She said the only reason why she knew that she was still alive because the lady shot her with a 6-shooter. And after the 6th shot, she kept hearing click, 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 so she knew that she was out of bullets. My mother got up and walked out, and just so happened it was an ambulance. God thing right there.
Right.
It saved her life.
Heck of a background.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate
still live
that.
here?
I live in Porter County, Indiana. I live in Valparaiso.
Okay.
So you
ain't take the game out there?
No. I came. The Lord plucked me out of here and took me there
Doing
to
what?
get me away. Well, I'm a volunteer right now. I visit nursing homes with my 3-pound
You can't
chihuahua.
get that suit, no volunteer.
Oh, no.
You can't get that. You can't get them diamonds as no volunteer.
This come from hard work, baby.
You do. If you get diamonds like that and volunteer, I'm on my way there.
Exactly.
What do you do for a living?
Currently, right now, I own 2 businesses, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have a landscaping business and I do snow removal.
Excellent inspiration, yeah?
Thank you, sir.
A lot of guys think they don't have any other choices when they leave the streets. A lot of people I know go into services such as that and they build a business. They start out mowing lawns, shoveling snow, then they move on up and end up with a successful business. Congratulations to you. What about you? What's your deal?
No, well, I don't really have no deal.
What?
I don't really have a deal.
His suit's at the cleaners.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. I want to talk about his entire.
I come up from Chicago too. I went to the penitentiary. I came home. I met Mr. Tiny.
How long were you in the penitentiary?
I was in the penitentiary for 8 years, federal penitentiary for 8 years.
Dope.
Yes, sir. When I came home in 2014, I met Mr. Tiny. He gave me a couple of jobs to do, with his landscaping and the snowing. And
you didn't go back to the street?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good. Well, that's why I'm asking you. What's your deal?
Well, my kids,
I was playing with you when I was yelling like that. But I know you probably had a success story. That's why I was asking, and that is a success story.
And my kids made me, wake up. Seeing my daughter come to the penitentiary and my son with 45 years, it just made me grow up. I got my GED since I was in prison. I got a certificate in construction and forklifting. So my intention was to come home and do better. And I was trying to up until I got fired.
Oh yeah, you still will. You just said you have certifications, so you will. Just keep working at it, you will. I'm glad to hear you. See, you do have a deal. I said, what's your deal? I don't have a deal. You do. You got a great deal. Same thing. So what you suing your man for?
Well, Your Honor, I'm here because I'm guilty of showing love to my brother and his wife and his mother-in-law who's deceased and his daughters and his dogs. So first of all, Your Honor, approximately on February 23rd of this year, Mr. Vital, whom I didn't know, I knew his wife and his mother-in-law who's deceased. She came to buy a wheelchair for me, and I felt so much compassion for the senior lady. I gave her the wheelchair, electric. And so I knew his wife. I didn't know Mr. Vital. So him and his wife came to me and they said, Tiny, we wanted to rent a car because our car died on us and we work at the same job. And if we can't get to our job, then we don't. I said, cool. I said, well, I'll swipe the car, you give me the $250, which we did. About 5-6 days later, the police, I'm notified that the car is in tow.
We gave you $400, $455. It was deposit and for the
I'll
truck.
let you give your side. Let him
Please. Anyway, Your Honor, he said he got $250. Let him swipe my card. He'll give me the $250. I didn't do it on the strength of him. I did it on the strength of his woman because I knew her. I didn't know him. I didn't know where he was at. All of a sudden, he's on the scene. He's a brother. He's from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. So I was like, man, I love you, man. You know, I called him nephew. You called me aunt. So I thought we had something going there since I have been feeding his kids and his dog and bringing over turkeys and hams, chickens, more. I was standing in Porter County, you can go get free dog food. You got to stand in line. I was standing in line in the wintertime for dog food for his dogs. So I figured that, that's enough to, reciprocate some love.
Correct.
So he swiped the card. All of a sudden, the police say like, yeah, you owe, Enterprise say you owe $750. So I go get Mr. Vital.
Enterprise rent-a-car.
Yes, sir. So I go get Mr. Vital and I take him back up there to the place and we talk to the manager. And the manager say, well, she recognized me from church because I'm the only black member.
Go to church also.
Yes, sir. I'm the only black member in a 1,500 member church, Your Honor. I sing in the choir, and I do a lot of things. I'm on fire for God.
All right,
Not
good.
unafraid.
Glad to hear that.
I come to him and I say, well, hey, let's go back up here and take care of the business. So we do. The young lady recognized me and she said, well, Tiny, what do you think we should do? I said, well, it's a $500 bill here. I'm just swiping the card for him. I said, well, can't you just split the difference? And he paid $250 and y'all bite the other $250 on insurance or something like that. She said, okay, you got the $250? I said, Mr. Vital, you got the $250? He says, no. I said, I got the $250. I paid the $250.
To the rent-a-car agent.
Yes, sir. And I had him witness and sign a promissory note, witnessed by the lady,
All right.
and agreeing to pay me $20 until he can get a job. He paid me $20 one time and $20 at another time.
And that's why it's only $210.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Well, first of all, I say, Uncle Tiny, man, we need you to rent us a car. He said, all right. So I gave him the money. He used his card. And the $200 was for the deposit. We get that back after we turn the car in. But in the process of driving the car, my wife got pulled over for a suspended license. They took the car. So I called him first. I called him and told him, man, the car got impounded. And he told me to call Enterprise. I called Enterprise. They told us that we had to pay for the rent, the towing fee.
Yeah.
Right. So I say, what about my deposit? And then they say, well, come up here. We'll talk about your deposit. So I ain't never go. I left it alone.
You don't go pick up your own deposit?
Right.
My deposit go on your card. So I have to pick up my deposit.
Go ahead, sir. You neglected to meet your obligation with him, or you neglected to meet your obligation with the rental car.
Regardless, I wasn't even worried about the $200 because I know when I see him, I was gonna get my money regardless. So I didn't worry about the $200.
Sir, your defense today is you've already paid him. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like I still owe him $10 if it's all that because he got my deposit and I paid him $40.
All right. Did you sign a note?
Yes, I did.
When? in June of 2015?
Yes.
This was after this agreement. So you're stating here that you do owe him $250, sir.
I signed a promissory note not knowing about the deposit. Because the deposit go back on his card. I didn't have a credit card.
So when you signed this, you couldn't remember or you failed to remember?
I didn't even think about it.
Because you should have gone back to him if what you say is true and said, hey, do you remember that deposit? You wouldn't have ended up here. But obviously you either didn't go back to him or when you went back to him, it was a dispute about it. That's why you go back to a person. If there's a misunderstanding, particularly about Unc, who's helping you, put his name on the line for you, put his card on the line for you, and now he has to bring you to court. Have a good day. Judgment from the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I still love my brother.
Good.
I still love him. I still want to have a
Shake his
relationship
hand, man.
with him.
Show him some love back.
Man.
Hey, man, you getting everything from him?
Love you, bro.